So initially I had planned on doing something different for you guys. I had initially set up a live commentary walkthrough of showing you what my Isla Nublar sandbox park looked like. However, the audio didn't come out correctly, so I have to do this motherfucker all over again like a YouTube owner having to go fuck himself every day. Now, initially I was going to plan on doing 2 videos this week anyway, so it's not like this thing fucked up my videos this week. Because of 4th of July and whatnot, I'm going to do a video on Tuesday, and either one on Thursday or Friday. I wasn't anticipating which day it was, but essentially I was only going to have 2 videos this week, that way I could enjoy my holiday. But essentially, here's what I wanted to do. I wanted to show you a park that I created that has all 48 dinosaurs in all the enclosures in the park. And initially I did this completely live. I had my headset on, I did the commentary. For whatever reason, the audio didn't come out to the standards that I like. It basically sounded like I was talking into a tin can. So I'm going to do my traditional shit. Essentially, I'm going to give you the grand tour. This is the same footage that I was going to use as I was doing it live. So I kind of know what I'm already going to see. I'll point out what I was going to do. But here's the thing. This was not supposed to be a 5-star park. The whole point of this park was to show you all the enclosures, and you're going to notice all I have is fucking feeder needs resupply in this goddamn park. But essentially, this park was going to show you pretty much how I set up all 48 dinosaurs in one particular park. And it's a little tricky because some dinosaurs want to be next to other types of dinosaurs. Some have different comfort levels. So trying to get everybody comfortable in one enclosure, in one park, was pretty much a challenge. So right here I'm showing you what my main street looks like. When you land, you have the Innovation Center, and then obviously the 4 hotels. Now, because this isn't a 5-star park, my ratings aren't very high because I didn't really go for the exploitation of it. Basically, what you have to do to exploit a 5-star park is you have to put the main 4 stores next to hotels and next to viewing vents. So you need restaurant, a bar, a clothing shop, and the arcade. If you get all 4 of those next to all your major areas, you get 5-star ratings on all your facilities. I wasn't going for the 5-star facility. I was going for the 5-star dinosaur park, but essentially here I'm kind of giving you the layout. I even tried to do something cool here with the power stations. I tried to put them behind walls and whatnot, showing that, you know, I could section that shit off. That's essentially what it kind of looked like. Now, each enclosure doesn't need a viewing vent to get a 5-star rating. For whatever reason, the dinosaur visibility does not there. I added an extra restaurant just to try to get my ratings up a little bit. But essentially, each paddock does not, and you see me trying to look at all the fucking feeders again. Each paddock doesn't need a viewing vent. Every time you add a viewing vent, you kind of have to add facilities around that vent, such as the restaurant, the bar that I mentioned, and shit like that. So the reason why my ratings are only going to be, I don't even think I'm going to get a full 4 stars on this particular park, is because I have too many viewing vents. So right now, this is what I was doing when I was doing the live commentary. I was going through each one of these paddocks, showing how I set up each one. Oh yeah, this fucking Velociraptor. Everybody knows who's played this game. There's a little bit of a glitch where if you have too many dinosaurs, they don't fucking eat. So I have something like 105 dinosaurs in this island or some shit. I don't remember the exact number that I finished with, but I did get one of each species, genus, however you want to fucking call it. And after I take care of him, I'm going to probably go on the tour showing exactly what I did. And I also wanted to have kind of unique enclosures. You know, I could have just put 20 boxy enclosures next to one another, but essentially I had 23 uniquely shaped enclosures. That way you could have different viewing. And I also wanted to do the paths really cool. So here's the first enclosure that I did. These are all the armored dinosaurs, and for whatever reason, one of the motherfuckers in there, him, Sauropelta, what an asshole he is. He doesn't want more than 3 other dinosaurs in a pen with him. So once you get to 4 dinosaurs, that's it. He gets stressed out. So I couldn't put all 5 of the armored dinosaurs. I couldn't put the Ankylo in, so he's in another enclosure. Here I switch over to the Ceratosaur enclosure. I put 2 of them in here, and you'll notice that I have a skin on each dinosaur. In other words, I changed the color of them, and I increased the lifespan on all the dinosaurs. That way they don't die so fucking quickly. So the next enclosure over here, I put the Deinonychus there. I'm trying to, like, you see me again, fucking feeders. You know what the game really needs? The game needs it to be like automated, like an upgrade on one of your ranger stations. Once you get to the ranger station, you could automatically refill that shit once it's low. But in any event, there I zoom in on the skin color that I got on the Deinonychus. Now, obviously, this is not a PC, and I believe I was saying this at that exact point in that live commentary. PC is obviously more vibrant. PC obviously has more capabilities than a console, and the graphics cards are obviously much stronger than any console. So I'm not going to have the resolution that you're going to see on a PC. This is essentially what you're going to have on PlayStation. This is not even my PlayStation 4 Pro. This is my normal PlayStation that I was doing upstairs. But the next enclosure over, enclosure number 4, was the Hadrosaurs. And again, you can't fit them all in one enclosure, mainly because of that motherfucker, the Mudabutasaurus. Oh man, that shit was so fucking irritating getting those guys in the enclosure. Initially, when I had the island, I had it set up as normal, with normal disease, normal comfort levels, breakouts, storms, and then after a while, I was like, you know, I can't get 100 fucking dinosaurs in one enclosure, or one park, without them going ape shit. So I turned off everything, I put everything on easy mode. They have no more comfort levels, no more, diseases and things like that. And here's some of the cooler structures or enclosures that I wanted to create. I wanted to create sort of like a bridge across a water world. And you can see, I like getting the pathways right next to the enclosure. And all the enclosures are the heavy steel. So in theory, if someone were to walk across this, you can actually see the dinosaurs right through the pen. Now, dinosaurs like Indominus Rex and Indoraptor, they would obviously have a lot more security than just heavy steel. You need them to have the concrete walls in order to keep them happy. This motherfucker. And one of the things that you're going to notice right off him, you see his grassland level? One of the most annoying things in the game, and a couple dinosaurs are going to have this in their enclosure, is that the dinosaur's comfort level is based on where they're standing at that point. So if they're not standing in grassland and they're standing in water, they might feel uncomfortable. If they're not standing in the forest and they need a high forest rating, they're going to feel uncomfortable. There's my Metriacanthosaurus. Initially I was going to put 2 in there, but then they started fighting because the enclosure was too small. So I was like, no, I'll just stick with the one in that enclosure. But all their comfort level is all based on where they're standing at the time. Right here is my Ceratops enclosure. Again, you can't fit all of them in one enclosure because of their comfort level. So 2 of them are not in this particular enclosure. I have Triceratops and Pentaceratops in another location. Here's one of my first big predators. And there you see the skin that I put on. I don't even remember what fucking skin that shit is. But there's my Spinosaurus. I had, after I taped this video, and I think I even said it during the live commentary, was I was going to change his enclosure to add more water, because realistically, it seems like the Spinosaurus in real life was not the way they have it in Jurassic Park. They actually spend more time in their water, and there I had, depending on how you pronounce it, who fucking argues over this shit, it's either Giganotosaurus or Gigantosaur, whatever the fuck it is. I don't think it's Gigantosaur, I think it's Giganotosaurus, or whatever the hell they pronounce it. But anyway, he's in that enclosure. He's a lot fucking smaller than he's supposed to be, and that's one of the, the big knocks on the game that they had between Spinosaurus and this motherfucker. They weren't as big as the T-Rex. In real life, they were bigger than the T-Rex, but for some reason, this video game, they didn't make them bigger in the T-Rex. Now, here is paddock number 10. This was the hard one. This is the pain in the ass, because mainly 2 dinosaurs cause more fucking problems in this one. I basically put the ornithomides in this one. That's the Gallimimus, the Archaeornithomimus, what's the other one? Struthiomimus. And then I put all the big motherfuckers. I have the Brachiosaur, Patasaur, but the Mamenchiasaur, oh my god, man. You're going to see, and I think I even click, yeah, right there, I click on the comfort level. His comfort is low because he feels like he's not in the forest or whatever the hell it is. I created a whole section, you can see at the top of the screen right there. That's all forest. That's all enclosure. I don't know if I'm going to do a high-up view on that shit again, but if you were to look at the top-down view, and I think I just did it a little bit earlier, one whole section is forest. And instead of going to the forest and being comfortable, what do? They wander into the grassland area where the Brachiosaur likes a little bit more grassland. So it's really infuriating trying to keep all those dinosaurs in that one particular enclosure because they're not fucking happy. The little motherfuckers, they don't give a shit. They really don't. They could just be in any fucking location possible, so I just threw them all in that one, mainly because it's such a large enclosure and I don't have to worry about the population size. You see, forest. He could, look, instead of going behind him into the forest, or instead of going the other side of the map, look, you see, there's the overhead. The other side, all over there, is all forest. Doesn't go in there. He just sits in the fucking open land, and then he gets pissed off, uncomfortable, so this is a big reason why I had to turn off the comfort levels, because some enclosures are, like, right on the border of them being comfortable. Majungasaurus was one of them, and then, obviously, the big motherfuckers. That paddock right there is paddock number 11. That was a tricky one, and I was explaining this what happened here. I initially had all the paths connecting, but I needed another enclosure on the map, and this was the only location that I could put it. So it kind of stopped that section over there. That section, aside from being connected to the monorail, is not really connected to the main part of the park. So this enclosure cut off the completely circular path that I had around the map. But anyway, I put the Packies in that particular enclosure that cut off my park. Here I have the dinosaurs that really didn't fit in the other enclosures, the Pentaceratops, which are a pain in the ass because they don't like a lot of dinosaurs, and then the two Hadrosaurs that didn't fit with the Muttabuttasaurus. That was Edmontonosaurus and Corythosaurus. Now here was like the junk pen. This was like the leftovers. This was potluck. This was the 6 Stegosauruses who are fucking high maintenance motherfuckers, and then I have an Ankylosaurus and a Triceratops. These are like the main dinosaurs of their genus that you know. If people know the Triceratops, they don't know Styracosaurus. They know Ankylosaurus, not Nodosaurus. Those are what they're known for. So I put the most popular, most known dinosaurs of those breeds in this one pen. So you have your Triceratops, Ankylosaur, and the Stegosaurus. But man, the Stegosaurus is a pain in the ass to keep, because basically they need to have 6 motherfuckers and they die so goddamn quickly. And then I'm going back to the feeders. It's like, oh, gotta feed these motherfuckers again. Now, can you imagine what 100 dinosaurs would I be going through if they had diseases and shit like that? Oh my god, I'd be fucking miserable. So clearly I had to cut that shit off just to make this particular park. Over here I have Allosaurus, and this was part of the Jurassic World DLC. It came out free Friday that the movie came out. And again, I think I'm going over my structure, showing how I have the steel fences, most likely what I was talking about in that particular area. But you see the way I like the paths to go in between the structures and to kind of have like a little bit of a curve. I didn't want to have 20 boxes on the map. I wanted to have a little bit of variety. I wanted to have some unique enclosures that sort of look different if this were to be like a gigantic zoo simulator, motherfucker. So these were the enclosures that I created to sort of show off that I wanted to do something unique on this particular map. I don't know why I'm not going in there, but yeah, there it goes. I'm showing off the other Stegosaur pen that I have. One of them in there, I think it was I forgot who the fuck it is. No, not him. The Gigantospino Stegosaur, whatever the fuck his name is. He likes a lot of forest. So that one enclosure has a lot of forest just for one fucking, there he is, that one. I didn't even get his goddamn name, but he likes a lot of forest in this one. This one I felt like fucking around. This was the only enclosure that had the gyrosphere. And within this enclosure, I decided to put the Indoraptor. I figured this would be the most ridiculous place to put the gyrosphere, because really, if anybody's seen the movie, the Indoraptor was just an angry motherfucker. And then you see the skin that I put on him. I think that's the vivid skin, if I'm not mistaken. So he needs quite a big enclosure. He needs a little bit extra forest compared to some of the other dinosaurs. So I was pretty happy with that particular pen that I created. And there you see, I actually put another hotel. Initially, I had all 4 hotels at the front of the map, or the front of the park. But I figured, you know what, if people are going to stay at a hotel and they want to see a main attraction of a dinosaur, which dinosaur are they going to want to see? They're going to want to see Indoraptor. So I put the hotel right in front of the Indoraptor pen, and then I decided, you know what, I'm just going to put the gyrosphere in that motherfucker. I was curious to see if he would attack. I knew he wasn't going to attack it, but I was just curious to see if he would do that. With the side of the Indoraptor right next to them, I decided to put Velociraptors. Made sense, right? Put all the Velociraptors, all these little pain in the asses, in one pen. I think I had 5 of them in there, whatever the hell it was. I didn't need that many, but I was like, you know what, let me just put it in a round number. And then finally I put the Indominus right next to them as well, and I like that skin on him. That skin is pretty sharp looking right there. Or her. I keep having to remember, these are all females. The Indoraptor is the only male, so I keep saying he in a lot of the things, but I do know they're all female. I just keep forgetting to say she. But anyway, you'll see Indoraptor, Raptor, Indominus right next to one another. The 2 genetically modified dinosaurs from the movies, and then the actual, well, genetically modified raptors. This was the enclosure that I really liked creating. I actually stole this from Reddit, not gonna lie. I did not create this on my own. I saw someone else do this. Said, oh, that's a really cool idea. I'm gonna do that in my park. So, Suchomimus and Baryonyx are 2 water-like dinosaurs. Essentially, they were like alligators or crocodiles. They spend most of their times in the marsh and swamps. So I created this water world with a bridge that goes right in between these 2 enclosures. So you can only imagine what that would look like if it was actually real. But essentially, you have these 2 water dinosaurs that sit in these 2 enclosures. They're Suchomimus with a really sharp skin. That was probably one of the best ones in the game. I think that's called Jungle, whatever it is. But essentially, these are 2 crocodile, alligator-like dinosaurs that really prefer fishing over eating other kinds of meat. And then down here was the Baryonyx. And again, in the water, that's exactly where they like to stay, apparently, according to scientists. So I figured putting these 2 in large water structures and then having this cool bridge that walks in between, that would be a cool idea. I initially had them in the other side But then I realized that these, you see, I'm trying to show it off. Those structures on the other side, which had Majungasaurus and Metriacanthosaurus, they were too small for both of the dinosaurs. They were getting stressed out in those tiny enclosures. So what I ended up having to do was make another style of enclosure like that, but make it a lot bigger. That way I could put those two dinosaurs in that particular one. There I go. Fucking feeders again. Oh god, all this park is just fucking feeder maintenance. That's it. And then obviously dinosaurs will die and I just have to kind of replenish them. I'll show you where I made my dinosaurs. Going over to paddock 21, this is where I put my Tyrannosaur. Needs a big enclosure just like Indominus, so I figured, you know what, there's another hotel over there, the T-Rex, and he's sort of diagonal from the Indoraptor, not too far from the Raptors. Obviously this is sort of like my carnivore section on this side of the map. I have a lot of carnivores in this particular area, but that one made sense, putting the Tyrannosaur there. In this enclosure, can't really see them, but my Dilophosaurs are in here. They like a lot of forest. For tiny little motherfuckers, they need a lot of forest to keep them happy. So I kept them in that particular enclosure. And then finally, Carnotaurus. Now, I initially had this enclosure a little bit smaller, and you're probably going to see the extension that I had to put on the end of this. I didn't realize how much grassland she really needed. There you're going to see. Look at all that extension that I had. Initially, I was using this pen as a third breeding ground because I knew she was going to be the last dinosaur that I had to breed. So yeah, you see me showing that off. I had to make this section just to keep her happy. I initially was using that as an extra breeding ground. And there you see, here was my breeding grounds. Essentially, this is where I was hatching all my dinosaurs. They were going into those two particular pens, tranquilizing them, and moving them out to whatever structures that they have. And this was a pain in the ass because all I had was 3 ACU centers. So man, did that shit take forever. Holy fuck, that took forever. But anyway, that's what I did just to get all 48 species of dinosaurs in one particular park. This is not a 5-star park. I could have obviously done a 5-star park. I know how to exploit the fact of how to get the 5-star park where you could put like 10 dinosaurs and basically they just sit in the same fucking area with all your hotels and shit around there. But essentially, that's how I created my park to get all 48 dinosaurs with a couple of cool structures, couple of cool enclosures. That way it wasn't just generic boxes all the way around the damn park. And there I'm probably going over how I actually did the process when I was talking in my live commentary. So if you guys are interested in me doing some more of these grand parks, what I actually did was I created a blank Isla Nublar canvas. Basically, when you start the island, there's a whole bunch of weird trees and hills and lakes and shit that are around the map, so I kind of had to go in and just flatten all that shit out to make sure that I could get a blank canvas. I say that blank canvas, so if I ever want to create a more unique map again, I can certainly do so. So if you guys are interested in seeing me create some more crazy shit, I can certainly do that as well, some more fun structures and whatnot. So that's what I created for my 48 dinosaur park. Obviously, if I wanted 5 stars, I could do it a little bit differently. So if you guys want to see some more different things, you can let me know. And as always, rate, comment, subscribe, and all that good shit. And as I mentioned, next video is either going to be Thursday or Friday. Not sure what day, but essentially only 2 videos this week. And then next week, I'll get back to all my normal postings.